The last 2 years has been dark and cold, and I've had a very harsh upbringing and life so far, But it's also prepped me as well to deal with situations like I've just dealt with.
You were shot and you had been stabbed and you were in this gang. Do you ever think about life if you hadn't have found sport?
I'd have probably been dead, to be honest. I sort of got drawn into the wrong crowd. There's people here with dogs in the UK that get treated better than a lot of human beings in Jamaica.
Charlotte Daly with Male Sport Boxing, joined by Dillian Whyte. How are you?
I'm good, very good, thank you.
Good, I'm glad to hear. Well, look, you were last out in March and you're back again this weekend. How are you feeling about that? Getting back to action, getting back to the thing that you love doing most?
You know what? It feels good to be back, positive, moving my career in the right direction. Obviously, Ebenezer Tete is 23-1. He's a tough guy, and he's coming from a hard place with a hard life. Those guys usually come to fight. He got knocked out in the round by Dubois. That's because he was trying too hard to fight. So I'm expecting a tough fight.
That you've said it there, the fact that he's shown his resilience, because the only person he has been knocked out by is Daniel Dubois, who's now obviously IBF heavyweight champion. Do you think that puts you in good stead for the route back to fighting the top guys of the division?
You know what? Definitely. I'm still one of the top fighters. I just need activity, and I think Ebenezer Tete will definitely give me a few rounds. He's not someone that's gonna come and lie down. He'll give me a few rounds. So David put me in a good place from activity and work and timing, and he'll throw punches at me so I have to block and defend. So I think it's a good fight to put me in position to build on from another camp and go into a much bigger fight.
You talk about that activity, that it's going to give you that. Obviously, you've had a frustrating year as such. Do you look at this fight in a way to get some of that frustration out on fight night? And are we going to see the most destructive Dillian Whyte we've seen?
I always try to be as destructive as I can. Sometimes it works against me because, but I'm definitely I'm gonna try and enjoy myself. I'm not gonna try. My last fight with Christian Hammer, there was a lot of frustration. I was angry and I was swinging and I was trying to get him out of there. And then when the fight finished, as you can see, I was still very frustrated and upset because he came and tried for 2 rounds and then he quit basically. So this time I'm trying to enjoy the process and enjoy and show my skills and show my timing and just enjoy the whole build-up, because last time I didn't enjoy none of it. It's just like I had a lot of anger and I just wanted to fight,
Yeah. Well, talking of that frustration, obviously it's been determined that positive test was from a contaminated substance and it cleared you of any intentional wrongdoing. But what was it like, life outside of the ring, whilst you're waiting for your name to be cleared and you missed out on that massive payday with AJ? What was that like for you?
It sucks. It's just been last 2 years has been dark and cold and just been, it's nothing I'm not used to, but it just hit me much harder this time, Just hit me very hard, but went through a lot of depression. I gave up boxing. I was like, I don't really care about boxing. Went away, did some other things, but I think that was also good because that made me miss the game and want to do the game again. And also I had a chance to rest a little bit and regroup and realize how much boxing means to me and how much more I have to give to boxing. So it's been bad, but it's been good on the other side as well.
You talked about wanting to walk away from the sport, and obviously the distance almost made the heart grow fonder, but were you frustrated by seeing people that would turn quite easily on you? Did you find that people were very quick to kind of turn their back?
Unfortunately for me, I'm experiencing boxing now, and I've been on the ups and the very down of boxing, so to me it was no surprise. No one gave me a chance to. They didn't give me a fighting chance. They didn't give me 3 or 4 days to get my things in order and try and fight the case. They just went and picked someone else who also failed a drug test going into the fight, and then they still make the fight go ahead. So why didn't they give me a chance to prove myself? I get my things in order, but they let him do it. So I just got bad luck, I think. I just have bad luck.
Well, I was going to say, why do you think you weren't afforded that chance?
You know what? I can sit here and say a lot of things and sit here and tell the truth and say this and say that, but there's always going to be someone that's not happy with what I say. So, it's just bad luck, I guess. Look, everybody knows the truth anyway.
you're someone who has faced a lot of adversity throughout your life. You know, I was actually just talking to some people now about you growing up in Jamaica and how there was points in your life where you thought you were going to starve as a child. Like, tell us a little bit about your backstory, because I don't think everyone knows the depths of it.
My backstory, you know, there's something I want to go on about, because there's always someone that's got a worse life than you, a worse story, and gone through worse poverty and stuff. But I went through hell since I was a child, you know, but I defeated and overcome it, obviously. Born in Jamaica, it's a third world country, and life means nothing in Jamaica. You know, it's like, there's people here with dogs in the UK that get treated better than a lot of human beings in Jamaica. You know, people, you know, it's like, if your dog gets sick, you take him to the vet and you spend 10,000 to make your dog better. In Jamaica, if you get sick, then a lot of people just end up dying from small things, and that's how much life is. So it's a tough place, you know. I'm not gonna moan, I'm not gonna cry about it and go on about it, but my life story is out there, and it's I've had a very harsh upbringing and life so far, you know. But it's also prepped me as well to deal with situations like I've just dealt with, give me a bit more resilience probably than the average person have. Even though I don't think I'm nothing or no one special, but yeah.
Yeah, I know you're particularly close to your mum, because she was the one that went to London and tried to find this better life for you.
Yeah.
What was it like though, growing up with her out of the country?
It was tough because the people that was meant to be taking care of me, my mum was working and sending money for me to get looked after. They was just taking and stealing the money and using it for themselves. And these things happen all the time in places like that, so it was tough. And then I've never hated my mom or anything against her, but I used to think, you know, that she don't care or something or whatever. But she was doing amazing things, but I just wasn't receiving it, and there was lying to her that I was receiving. And as a child, I can't speak up for myself, you know. So, but my mom's my hero, you know. To make a conscious decision to leave your youngly born kids behind to go somewhere uncertain. It's not like, say, she was coming here, she had a place, she had work and a way to earn. No, she just came, and back then it was tough as well, especially, you know, being a black single woman. So it was tough, but she done her thing, and I'm here. So, you know, it's tough. She made a tough decision, man. It's, you know, thinking about it, it's crazy.
What was it like for you when you came to England, the adjustment? Because Jamaica and London are slightly different.
It was cold as sheesh. No. You know what? Went to Brixton, and then I sort of got drawn into the wrong crowd, because there's some similarities to what was happening in Jamaica, and then having that need of wanting to be and father figure and stuff like that. You get into gangs, and you know, because it's a family. People think, oh yeah, it's just gang, but it's a family unit, it's a support unit, and then, you know, give you a purpose. You feel like you're doing something, or you're part of something, or you got people that check to you. But now when I look back at it, it was like the complete opposite. But yeah, things was just difficult. Things was just it was different. You know, things not as hard as Jamaica, because I had food and a place to sleep and water and electric and all of that, but it was difficult staying out of trouble and not getting into trouble, and you know, it was very difficult, but it was a lot better than what I had back there. So yeah.
I know that, you know, you found kickboxing first before you found boxing, and you know, do you ever think what life would have been like had you not found them? Because I know you were shot and you had been stabbed and you were in this gang. Do you ever think about life if you hadn't have found sport?
I'd have probably been dead, to be honest, because what happened was the sport took my time away from me without me even knowing or realizing it. It was like, go to training, come home, I was tired, I had to rest or go and run or go and do other things, and then by the time I finished those, it was time to go to training again. You know what I mean? And then I was getting beat up in the gym, and that gave me the drive to want to do better. So I was thinking, okay, if I need to get better, I need to spend more time in the gym. And then it took my life over without me even intentionally meaning to do it. Trying to be better and trying to be in the gym, and then the gym gave me what the streets gave me, that sense of belonging
Community.
and achievement and community and real people that supports you, come and see you fight. People that come to the gym, people go and run. They gave me a lot more. It gave me what the street gave me, but with rewards and was better. And then I felt a real sense of achievement, getting better, sparring with the people that were beating me up 2 months ago. And I'm like, oh, okay, I'm not getting beat up anymore. Okay, I got beat up a little bit, but you know, and just stuff like that. It's crazy. Little things, little changes can actually change your life without you even knowing it.
Well, you actually, in the early days, right at the start of your career, actually fought against Anthony Joshua, which is crazy considering the fact that he was obviously thought of as this golden boy, kind of the next generation of boxing, and you were the kid that had come out of nowhere and gave him a real tough fight. Like, what was it like fighting him early doors?
I was always a fighter. I've been fighting since I was born, so that, unfortunately, one of the things I love to do best is to fight and be resilient, and that's all I did. I remember I was training boxing for 2 months, and my coach said, "Oh, we got a show. You want to box?" And I said, "No, I don't really want to box. I just want to train boxing to get better for kickboxing because I couldn't box." And he goes, "Yeah, but I think you should have a fight. It's good for experience, and also I think that you actually can be a good boxer." And I was like, "Meh." And I said, "Okay, I'll fight." And then they was looking for an opponent. I couldn't find none. Then they said, "Oh, there's a kid from Finchley, but he's fire. He's hot. He's knocking everyone out, and he's definitely going to be something in the future." And I said to my coach, "Yeah, I'll fight him." But my coach says, "Nah, we don't really want that fight. We're trying to have an easy one." I said, "I'll fight him." And the coach was like, "Eh." But eventually, they run out of opponent, and then he was the only one that was left. And obviously, he's coming up a bunch of knockouts, so he's thinking, yeah, easy job. So he took the fight, and then got there, saw him, and I was thinking, I ain't losing to this guy, no way. You know, and then that was it. We just slugged it out and I ended up beating him.
Well, before we talk a little bit more about AJ now and your next steps and things like that, just kind of going back to the gang situation, do you think that your circumstances out of the ring have made it harder for you to secure the fights you want because of people's perception?
I've never been a yes man. I've always tried to do things my own way. I never really toed the line, as they say. So made things harder for myself, but at least when it's done and gone, I can say, you know what, I didn't do what they wanted me to do. I done it my way, and I done my thing. It's something to be proud of. I didn't sell out. I didn't say yes just because. No, I tried and do it my way. I tried and do the best I can, and I did it the hard way. I didn't have it easy at all.
Well, a win against Ebenezer will put you right back into the mix.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, you're not going to overlook him on the weekend.
No.
But what would you want next? Would it be, trilogy with Chisora as his kind of swan song, or AJ again? Or
I would love to fight all of those guys, but I understand that I've been off for a while, and these guys got their trajectory. I've got mine, and they have their career planned ahead. So I just want to be busy. Doesn't matter who I fight, where I fight. I just want to be busy. And then I want to fight AJ, I want to fight Wild, I want to fight Fury, I want to fight Zhang, I want to fight Parker, I want to fight Dubois, I want to fight Andy Ruiz, Dre, Miller, all of these guys. But until I get in the position where it can happen, I want to be busy. I want to keep fighting because I need the activity. Inactivity is what's kind of killed my career. I need activity.
What do you make of AJ at the moment? Obviously, he's had that loss to Daniel Dubois. How do you think he is looking at the moment, future-wise?
He's still one of the best fighters around at this era in the past 5-10 years. He's still one of the best fighters around. 2-time world champion. He's still very dangerous. It's very dangerous, and he's still one of the top guys around. And I think he still beats a lot of guys. A lot of people. Probably boxing fans are very, very fickle. You win, you win. You're the greatest thing there is. You lose. He's shit or he's finished. No, you're not. It just means that you lose because you fight someone who's as good as you, are even better than you, or they're as good as you, but they're just younger than you, so they got better timing than you. They don't appreciate the fact that I lost because I had the balls to fight someone that was better than me, instead of just keep picking up. There's been lots of fighters that pick their fights, like Deontay Wilder. He was doing great until he stopped picking his fights. He was knocking everyone out and picking his fights, and then once he stopped picking his fights, he started to lose. So people should be grateful that AJ is actually fighting people and he's actually trying to put on big fights. And then people forget, once me AJ Fury, while all of us is gone, boxing's going to have a down period again because we are the character and we are the people. If you think about it, since Vladimir Klitschko, we're the only ones that's really create excitement again in boxing. A lot of prospects is coming up, but a lot of them have got no. They're good fighters, but no personality. You know, a lot of these prospects, you know, when they fight, they say, "I'm gonna go and watch. I want to see him fight," because that excitement is not there anymore. Yeah. Unfortunately.
Who do you think carries the torch then for the next round of?
I think Fabio Wardley definitely is one to fill the AJ gap. I think he's got that kind of AJ persona, the calmness, you know, he looks good, he fights well, and he's been knocking people out. But there's lots of good prospects around as well. There's lots of guys exciting fight, but they just haven't got the. Is that even not just with Daniel Dubois? He's just beating AJ, but he haven't really got the personality. He's just a straight talker. You haven't really. If you think knocking AJ out in 5 rounds, that's a big statement.
Yeah.
But
in the fashion he did it as well.
Yeah, there's no real big fuss around him. He's IBF world champion, but no one really. If you ask people with Daniel Dubois, they probably don't even know. You know, because he haven't got the shazaz, as they say. You know.
Yeah, well, somebody that everybody does know is Tyson Fury. So I want to get your opinion on the rematch between Alexander Usyk and Tyson Fury. How is that going to unfold?
Very, 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 very hard fight. I think Fury is capable of making the adjustments, and I think he will make some adjustments, which makes the fight a lot harder for Usyk. I think the only way he stands a chance of getting victory is if he comes in a bit heavier and pressure Usyk and fight aggressive like he fought Deontay the second time, and Steve Cunningham.
Yeah.
But Usyk is so good technically. And he's shown us something different in this last fight of Fury. He's shown us that he's able to be aggressive and be on the front foot and make adjustments while being aggressive. Because he got clocked a few times. He didn't take backward steps and try to recover. No, he just sort of took a couple of steps, made the adjustment, and kept on turning the screw, which was amazing considering being a smaller man. You know what I mean? Usyk is on fire at the minute. Very hard to beat.
Well, one of the things with Fury is he's always been known for his footwork and his ability to move, especially for a guy of his size. But do you think the wear and tear and the age of him has limited that? Do you think he's not capable of controlling the pace of a fight as much as he used to be able to?
I don't know, and I can't say. You know, people said years ago, George Foreman's gonna kill Muhammad Ali because he haven't got his reflexes, movement, but he knocked out George Foreman, so. It's very hard to say, and then as a fighter, Fury's caliber, he knows, okay, if my feet ain't what they used to be, he knows to find other ways of winning and what to do. So I don't think it's nothing to do with his feet and this and the other. I just think Usyk got the better of him on the night. I think if he can make some minor adjustments, I think he could get it done, but let's see.
You've spoken before about in sparring, you know, being able to exploit certain weaknesses of Tyson Fury. What were those weaknesses, and why didn't it translate into fight night when you fought him?
You know, because sometimes fighters is working and stuff in the gym. They're losing weight. They're training 2-3 times a day. They're not eating what they normally eat. They're exhausted mentally and physically. Maybe he's been training 10 weeks before you got to camp. You're sparring 3 or 4 rounds, 5 rounds, and he's sparring 12 rounds or 10 rounds. So it's very hard to say. It's like he might have got knocked down in sparring from this, but he's working in it, and then the fight come.
Yeah.
He's hoping for this, but then he's not because he spent 6 weeks working it. That's why he got knocked down when he was working it. So sometimes it's very hard to say. You know, that's why I don't really take much on sparring.
Yeah. How much do you think the mental side will be weighing on Tyson Fury that he has suffered his first loss and is having to avenge that?
I don't think Tyson Fury really cares, to be honest. I don't think he cares. You know, he understands the business, and you only get paid when you're in these big fights properly. Yeah. And he understands. I don't think. I know sometimes having your first loss is not a bad thing. It actually makes you a better fighter because you lose that mental pressure of. I've got the whole. You lose the mental pressure, and sometimes it motivates you to be better and be more responsive and more adaptable, and also be more susceptible to learning and improving and realizing that you're not what you thought you was. You're also vulnerable, you know.
It's almost like a sense of freedom once you lose the O, I guess.
There's some guys, you know, some guys get bigger than the O, and then the O doesn't matter anymore.
Well, before I let you go, I want to finish with a final prediction for Usyk versus Fury. What do you think is going to happen?
Right now, I cannot say, and that's the honest truth. I'm not sitting on the wall. It's very hard to pick a winner right now because there's so much aspects of the fight that I would maybe in fight week I might be able to see how they are, or their vibe is, what's the weight, and they're coming in and stuff like that, and see just so people is walking or they talking or they look, you know.
Yeah, get a feel for it.
Yeah.
Okay, well maybe we'll ask you again in fight week and
let's
see.